Are your locks so weak that you can't get into your Land Cruiser?
Less energy than Jeb Bush.
This little motor right here is the source of all your problems, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. The first thing we have to do is take off the door panel. Here are some of the tools you're going to need, minus Guy Fieri, although he's probably alright. Pull this tweeter cover off. Pop these caps off with your pick tool, and then remove the Phillips head screws. There's a hidden screw behind this secret flap. Wedge your pry tool in the upper and lower sections of this door handle trim piece to release hidden clips. Insert your pry tool in the front section of the switch plate to release the metal clip. Mine broke. Hopefully yours doesn't. If your Land Cruiser has the stock door clips, push the center part in and then pry the outer ring to remove the clips. Take out the 4 Phillips head screws on the lower side of the door. Don't forget the small plug for the foot lamp. Wow, look at that, you did it. You're special, like your mom always said. Even if you break stuff, don't sweat it. Now it's time to really get inside this door and take this motor out. Remove this Phillips head screw to get the door handle out of the way. Pop these cables out of the slots that hold them in place. And let's go ahead and peel back the vapor and sound barrier. Look at that, 2 10mm bolts. Go ahead and take those out. Take your pry tool and wedge it against the metal and the white plastic plate. Pop the first clip off. Now take your pry tool and wedge it between the 2 plastic pieces and pop the white plate off. Compress the back side of the plastic clip holding the cables and then pry it off. You've got 3 Torx bits here, T25, T30, somewhere in that range. Do yourself a favor, buy a kit. You'll thank me in the long run. Remove the plug. To free these metal rods up, you have to pop the plastic clips that hold them in place. Move the lock mechanism past the window guide towards the lower hole to free it from the door. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Just look at that. Now we have to take out these 3 Phillips head screws. There's one more cable holding the lock mechanism in place. Push the cable down to free it from the metal bracket. Wiggle the cable from the hole. To separate the casing, take your flathead screwdriver and pry up gently around the outer edges. Behold, the pearl of the oyster. Let's remove the old motor and separate the gear from the collar. I'll put a link to the new motor in the description below. Take your gear and slide it over the collar on the new motor. Put the new motor in the case, ensuring that it clicks into place. Let's take some isopropyl alcohol and clean up the edges of both sides of the casing. Mix a small amount of plastic bonder. Apply a thin layer to the raised edge of the casing. Go ahead and smash this case back together. Reconnect the cable. Don't forget to slot in this white plastic piece. Flip it back into place. If you over tighten these screws, you run the risk of separating the case. Don't ask me how I know. Slot the door cables in front of this wire. Installation is the opposite of removal. Just make sure you get the lock mechanism past the window guide. Now that we have the lock secure, let's put the door panel back on. That is a thing of beauty.
It's very high energy, Donald. That's a good one.